Hey everybody, this is Dave, and we're going to get started here again with another sweet pattern. We're going to be doing a beadhead flashback pheasant tail. And we're going to start off with a little Mustad 3906B size 12, a little nymph hook, and we're going to put on a little 1/8 inch bead. We're going to put this bead on, as you can see, put the small end goes on first and line that up. When we're doing this, the bead definitely takes up a little bit of room here. So we're gonna, this is in a super long shanked hook, so we're gonna actually probably start back pretty far on this for this fly here, but let's just get started. We're just gonna start wrapping right here behind the bead, get our thread base. Then we're gonna go all the way, I'm gonna cut this off. Then we're going to go all the way back past, kind of right past the bend, because we want to get it right in the back. Give ourselves plenty of room for this fly. We're going to go and get ourselves some pheasant tail here and take off a nice little clump. I'll see if I can get an idea of the amount here. This is for just getting the tail going here. It's a nice little clump, something about like that. And I'm guessing that is, what is that? That's maybe 20 of those strands. Nice little clump. It's quite a bit fatter down here, quite a bit thinner down here. And that's actually, yeah, that's a fair amount. You could definitely get by with more, even less, like maybe 15. But I'm going to tie it on just to show you, just so we have plenty. Tie this tail on. It's about the length of the hook shank, basically. Tie that on there. Go back here, secure that with some good wraps. Then we're going to get our a bit of our copper wire, and this we're going to actually counter wrap this. So we're going to tie this in right here. Don't be afraid to tie it in so there's plenty that gets carried over. Not a problem there. So once we get that tied in, we're going to start wrapping the back of our body. What you do on this is sometimes the easiest thing is to use you wrap and use your left finger to hold it in place as you turn. See, I'm turning, and then I'm going to hold it with my left finger, and then turn, hold, turn, hold. And you keep doing that until you get up towards the front, just until it starts to get up here, and then you got to wrap it. And then, instead of doing this, you could have tied in the tail and then come back and tied in on top of that, tied in more of the actual pheasant tail. But I like just doing it in 2 steps. That way it kind of goes a little quicker. Now we'll kind of see how we're looking here, looking pretty good. So now we're going to take our copper wire and just do our counter wrap. So this is securing the pheasant tail in case it gets nipped or bitten, hopefully bitten by your friendly fish. And then tie that off right there. Tie that off nicely. We'll come back here and get that out of there. Again, we'll come back here, make sure we wrap over that thoroughly, get that covered up. We're going to come back with, next is the flash, where you get the flash. And we're going to use pearl Flashaboo, and this stuff works. It's nice and flat, and we're going to get a nice little clump, something like that. Cut off about an inch of that. So you get a nice little clump in your hand. About that much. It's roughly, I'd say maybe 10 strands, something like that. So we're going to come back here and tie that right on top. This is going to be the wing case. This is kind of the flashback, the flash wing case. I mean, definitely there's patterns that wrap this over the entire body, like in the back part of the abdomen as well. some people do that, but it's not, you know, depends on your taste, not always critical. I'm going to snip off these feathers, snip off those guys out of there. I'm going to wrap over, clear things up here. There we go. Just kind of, again, secure this and make sure we're looking good. A lot of times you just take and pull to see how it's going to look. This is basically going to wrap over the top. Looking pretty good. So once you get that, then you can get a little bit of peacock. We're going to grab a few up from this, right in this range. Some of the stuff that's got a little bit more thickness on it. We'll just take 3 of these guys, cut them off here, and next we'll tie in that peacock, and then we'll just do a few wraps. There's one. Try to keep it together. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. You know, about 4 wraps, good. So it's looking good. And you can come back and cut off that. I guess one of the keys on doing this is to try to keep from getting too bulky, as you want to minimize your wraps. That's always the case. But pull the wing case over and do your wrap right on top. Just give it a couple on, 2, 3. Now this is where you got to get as best you can, get down tight. If you don't get them all, you can kind of come back and trim in. Then do a few wraps over the top. So there, now you got your flashback. Now we're going to come back and we're going to take that same pheasant tail. We're going to again grab, like we did last time, from the 2 sides. We're going to grab from the side that's got the brown. We're just going to take a few of these, like 3 of these little tips. 3 of those little tips. We're going to tie them in right on the side to make little legs. And these can go back about the length of the body or less. It's not a big deal. These are pretty small, so tying a couple of those there. Cut those off. Those, and get a few more here. Tie these in on the other side, about the same. And these will give a little bit of life in the water as it's tumbling down. Cut this one off. Then come back and just do a few right over same area. This is where you try not to get too bulky. I'll just do my whip finish. And there you go. There's the flashback beadhead pheasant tail, and this is probably a good idea just to come back with a little bit of whatever you want to use, head cement or glue, just to make sure it's secure. I'll throw a little of this just right on top. Don't be afraid to put some of this on here. Just gonna put it right on top. There you go. So that's what she looks like, and that is a killer pattern. There's different sizes you can tie it in, different. Like I said, you can put more flash or less flash, but essentially that's the fly. So thanks for hanging around. That's the Beadhead flashback pheasant tail, and we'll catch you on the next show. See you guys.